Good afternoon, everyone. It is Saturday afternoon. It's just past 12 midday, and it's still a bit quiet around here because I'm the only one at home. The kids are still away at grandma's, although they're coming back home today. Anyways, back to business. I am going to be making today Moimoi. Moimoi is made from beans. It is the best way to call it in English is Nigerian beans pudding. Moimoi Nigerian beans pudding. It is made from beans. I've got my beans here. This is about 3 cups when it was dried. 3, not the usual 3 cup and the usual cup, the cup you use in drinking water. I soaked it overnight. And I washed it this morning. I think when it absorbed water, it swelled up. So that's why it's more in this bowl. I am going to be making my beans or my moimoi today with tatashe, that's long hot pepper. Unfortunately, I only have 1. I was supposed to use 3 or 2. But I didn't realize that I had run out in the freezer, so when I brought it out of the freezer there was only 1 left there. It won't really make a significant difference to the meal anyway. And then I'll be using 2 bulbs of onion. These are 2 small bulbs of onion or medium-sized onions, and I've got 2 handfuls, that's my hands full of crayfish there. And to add to my beans mixture, I'll be using corned beef. Some people use boiled tilapia fish. Some people use eggs. In fact, some people even use eggs and fish. But today I'm going to be using corned beef. And I'll be using sunflower oil, salt to taste, and then my chicken bouillon seasoning powder as seasoning. And I've got these tin foils, which I'm going to boil my pudding in. This is the medium-sized foil. Now to start my cooking, I am going to blend this together into a very smooth paste. This pepper, tatashe, onions, and also the crayfish. I'm going to blend all of them together to make into a very smooth paste. Got my blender out and I'm going to be blending now. Just to say, these beans, I bought it already peeled. Sometimes I don't like the powdered one. There's the powdered one available, the one that's already blended and ready to use. And that one, all you had to do is to mix it with warm water. I tried that once a long time ago and I didn't like the way the moimoi came out. It came out really stiff and hard. So I like to to peel my beans from the start, wash it and blend it myself. But they also sell the one that's already peeled, so that's the one I'm using now. I got the one that's already peeled, so all I had to do is rinse it properly again and soak it in water to get this result. In this my blender, I've added some of my beans, the crayfish, pepper and onions, and added water to allow for easy blending. So I am now going to blend to a very smooth paste. I blended the first batch and it is very smooth. So I'm going to continue blending the rest until they're all blended in this texture. See, it's very soft. It should be smooth when you rub it against your finger and your thumb. Your forefinger and your thumb. It should be very smooth. You shouldn't be rubbing any lump or seed. It should be very smooth. That is my beans, hot pepper, onions, crayfish, and tatashe mixture. It's all blended into this smooth paste. I hope you can see it. So now I'm going to add in my ingredients. It's too thick at the moment. I'm still going to add a bit more warm water to lighten it up a bit. In this mixture, I'll be adding 2 tablespoonfuls of my chicken bouillon powder seasoning. 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoonfuls of that. That's one. And the second one. One tablespoonful of salt. I don't know if you can see that. That's 1 tablespoonful. It's not showing properly. Anyway, that's what's 1 tablespoonful. Stir and mix together. Fold it into the mixture. I'll be adding my corned beef now into the mixture. In the meantime, I put a little bit of water in the saucepan for it to be heating up a bit in preparation for when my pudding goes in. I will now grease my foil plates with sunflower oil. It is very thick, as you can see. That's not the way I want it. It has to be very soft or watery, so I'm going to add water to relieve the thickness. That's warm water. I added about 2 cups of water again to get the texture I need. I will now add my sunflower oil. I'll be adding about 1 cup of that. Actually, let me just try half a cup and see how it goes. I ended up adding half a cup of sunflower oil, and I'm now going to stir it in to make sure they're all properly incorporated. This is a very large portion of moimoi, so it is really large. I'm now going to check for taste to see if I require more seasoning. That's the oil and the paste or batter properly incorporated. I've checked for taste as I see that it requires a bit more seasoning, so I'm going to add 1 more tablespoonful of my chicken bouillon seasoning. I have checked for taste, and it's at my desired taste. And in terms of the texture, yeah, it's now probably at my desired texture. A watery consistency or dropping consistency. I think I'm going to put a little bit more water to make it more watery. Yes, that's the way I want my consistency to be. Now it's for me to now distribute this into my greased foil plates. And that continuously until all the foil plates are occupied. You cover it with the foil covers. It is important that you leave at least a little bit of space in the plate so that because as the moimoi cooks, it rises. So I now cover my foil plate. My foil plate with its foil covers. That's my moimoi in my foil plates now properly covered. I'm now going to transfer them into the boiling water. It is very important that when you put water in, when you put it in the pot, that the water is not covering the whole foil. This is to ensure that the water does not enter into your food. So ensure that your water is the maximum, maybe half of your tin foil, and then you can go in and be checking at interval to make sure that the water doesn't dry up. So as more water you require, you add. So I'm now transferring my tin foil into my water. So in my pot now, my water is just right here. So I'll be checking probably every 10 minutes to make sure that there's enough water to cook the moimoi. Otherwise it will get burnt, your pot will burn. But again, it is important that you do not add too much water to cover the moimoi. Otherwise it will enter into it and dilute it and make it ridiculously tasteless. So now putting all my moimoi in a format to allow for space for when I need to add water. This is going to cook for about approximately 45 to 50 minutes. But you need to be checking it at interval to ensure that there's sufficient water to cook it as it cooks. I'm now going to cover and set my timing, my cooker timing for 45 minutes. See you in a bit. My moimoi now have been cooking for about 50 minutes to 1 hour. I've taken one out, so I'm going to take it out of the foil and show you what it looks like. I know it's not as red as I wanted it to be because I didn't have enough tatashi. Some people put tomatoes, some people put a lot more ingredients than it is, but that's the way I want mine to be. You can see it's cooked, it's so tender and soft. You can see the corned beef in there, so tender and soft. So that's my moimoi cooked and ready to eat. Thank you for watching. If you like the way I prepared my moimoi, or you have some sort of feedback, please leave your feedback, comment, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a blessed week ahead. Bye.